Hi guys, it's Nicole, and today I am going to be working with a free sketch from Scrapbook Generation. It is from April of 2014, and the sketch was provided through an online magazine that they used to offer for free. The magazines are still available on their website, so you can go on there and you can read them or download the sketches and stuff like that. I want to say over a year ago, I had participated in a challenge where a lot of us that love their sketches were working through the sketches from the magazine, which was called Create. And so I had made myself like a little list, and it had all the single page sketches, the double page sketches, the cards, and the tags. And I'm still slowly working my way through them. And so for the Sketch It video that I'm doing this month, I just kind of went to that drawer in my room and pulled one of these sketches that I had already printed my photos and matched them to a sketch, and had kind of made myself a little note as far as what papers I wanted to use and stuff like that. And then because of it, just kind of worked out with the timing for this, that on Scrapbook Generation's Facebook page they were also doing a challenge where you posted a picture of photos that you wanted to use, and then you posted a picture of the supplies that you wanted to use, some more like finishing touches type supplies, and then your final results. Basically just kind of showing how you can take it step by step, and not necessarily have to sit down and do a layout all in one go or whatever. So it was just kind of nice that while I was working on this video for the design team, I was also participating with a little challenge that they had going. And I think the reason that this sketch was sort of still in my to be worked pile is because it's just not my favorite sketch, and I think it's just because of the way that I tend to like my photos lined up. But I also didn't want to completely redo the photo arrangement. Like, I kind of wanted myself to force myself to follow the sketch in some way. I think that by doing stuff like that, you can kind of learn more about your personal style, what things that you don't like, things that you do like, things that you will end up switching. And I ended up rearranging my photos quite a few times, and I almost wish that I had gone with my original layout that I had done. I ended up going with what you see here, and it doesn't really bother me that I kind of have these gaps of trapped white space or whatever people call it. It doesn't bother me. I have always said, you know, I do what I like, and I don't necessarily feel like I have to follow some sort of design principle or anything like that. I will tend to rely on a sketch, because typically on a sketch people have kind of already figured out what visually looks good as far as where your title goes or your journaling and stuff like that. So I do tend to reference a sketch as far as things like that. I had used super old My Mind's Eye papers. My Mind's Eye could do no wrong for me in, I want to say, like 2011, 2013 type of era. I just loved how you could pull a couple sheets from one collection and they would match papers from another collection, because they would put out, you know, 4 lines all at once that used the same sort of color scheme. And that was just something that my brain really enjoyed using. And so I have a lot of My Mind's Eye sort of stored and stashed in my room, and I have so much of it that I don't really feel like I'm using it up or anything like that. I mean, I feel like even I pulled, you know, 8 or 9 full sheets of pattern paper to do this layout, and I barely made a dent in that. So a lot of times I will do that. If there is a sketch that I am just not loving, or I'm not feeling super motivated about, I will pull papers or a collection or a certain supply that I really like or I'm really comfortable using, and it sort of takes the creative block away a little bit, and I can just kind of focus on the aspects that I do like and kind of go from there. This particular sketch, I did stick other than moving my photos around a little bit, I did stick very heavily to where they had the banners depicted and things like that. I don't remember if there was any stitching shown. If there was, I chose to skip that because I was just trying to get stuff done. And I do apologize that for a while my videos are going to look weird because I got new lighting installed over my desk specifically for filming, and I feel like half the time it looks good and half the time it just looks very washed out and blue like it does here. So I'm still kind of trying to work my way through that, but at least now you can see everything is lit from like left to right and I don't have like random lamps here and there, so that's nice. I had pulled basically just a bunch of alphas that matched one of the sheets of paper that had a bunch of colors on it, and that's just what I like to do. I like to wait until I figured out what my title is before I figure out which letter stickers I'm going to use. And so I just decided to go with Cute as a Button. Thank God for Scrapbooking Friends, because I could not think of anything. I think it was just the mental block of pushing myself to use a sketch that I wasn't loving, and two of my friends suggested that title, so I just went with it. And I like to mix multiple fonts and stuff like that, and so usually I'll have like those little square shaped letters mixed with something bigger and brighter and more fun. And then I just used a bunch of different stuff from my stash. I have these really old adhesive buttons that I have kept because they already have adhesive on them and they're really easy to use, and I have them in every color. So I do like to pull them out every once in a while and go ahead and use them. I also used some enamel dots that I had, which are actually pretty new because they're Pink Fresh Studio. So I'm not sure what line that they were supposed to match, but they had two different shades of purple in there that actually matched really well. And then I am going to use these Nuvo drops. I don't know the name of the color because I'm not upstairs right now, but they're basically like a translucent pink color. They looked okay when I was putting them on, but then when I came back and they dried, I don't know that I'm just not a fan of the translucent ones, because anytime that I use the more opaque colors, they come out really well. But it was one of those things where the layout's done, I'm moving on type of thing. So I basically just put circular dot button type embellishments in places that I felt like they looked good. This is usually the point in a layout where I stop paying attention to the sketch and I start putting things where they just make sense to me. I chose to do my journaling in strips because, like I said, at this point the sketch was who knows where on my desk. Strips are easy in my mind to pretty much fit anywhere on a layout, so that was what I chose to do with these. And then normally I would ink the edges of my journaling strips to help them just kind of stand out more on the page, but I felt like because I didn't ink the edges of any of my papers that I was just gonna leave them white. So usually I'll either ink everything or ink nothing, and usually I will ink. But again, I think it was just this, trying to challenge myself to work through this sketch just kind of threw me off for a little bit. I'm not like loving how the layout came out, but I am glad that I stuck with it, and I think that it's easy to kind of end up with a layout that you love when you love the sketch from the get-go. So I do think it's kind of important that if you are challenging yourself to use a specific sketch, or maybe you're working through a class that has sketches and it's, you've come across one that you're just not instantly inspired by or instantly loving, to just kind of continue to work through whatever your personal process is and have that sort of guide your way through a sketch that maybe isn't your favorite. I did just go ahead and add a couple little random stickers that I had from other My Mind's Eye collections, and then that was pretty much it. I do try to go ahead and date my layouts while I'm working on them so that when I put them in my albums, they're already ready to go and I don't have to go back and look up the date. So here are some still photos of the layout, And I will be back next month with another layout for the Crafty Maven Getaway. My channel link is provided below if you guys want to head over to my channel and check out other videos throughout the month. Thank you!